Bull, let's talk a little Guardians.
Okay.
And the leadoff spot for the Guardians.
Yeah.
Travis Bazzana had occupied that spot for a while and had pretty good success. If you look at the numbers of Bazzana in the leadoff spot versus Kwan in the leadoff spot, you can see that Bazzana has a decent number fewer at bats, but the OPS significantly higher. He has 35 hits and 154 at bats with a 755 OPS from that leadoff spot, compared to Steven Kwan, who has just a 610 OPS and 213 at bats from the leadoff spot. Recently, Steven Kwan has reoccupied the number one spot in the Guardians lineup, but do you think that's the right move long-term for Steven Vogt and the Guardians?
No, I do not. I don't even think I don't think Steven Kwan's going to be a Guardian all that much longer, honestly. But I actually, before Bazzana got here, and the way Kwan had played before this year, I was like, yeah, well, he's a good leadoff guy because he gets on base and like those numbers are a little misleading because right now the reason he went back into the leadoff spot is because he's hitting again, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's terrible that he's there, but I think going forward over the next few years, Travis Bazzana is probably going to be the best hitter on this team. Maybe it's Chase DeLauder, maybe it's still Jose. I'm not buying that Jose is shot just because he's not having a great start to the year. I could see him bouncing back and having a big year next year. I don't think he's not that old. But I think Travis Bazzana, and so I want my best hitters at the top of the lineup. I don't want them bouncing around, especially in this lineup when there's, when you have a lot of hitters struggling. So I think long term, I like the idea of Bazzana hitting in the one spot. And I would have stuck, like Kwan came out of his slump hitting at the bottom of the lineup. I would have left him there. Or it's a weird lineup because they have 3 zeros in the lineup pretty much. Mm-hmm. Or 3, guys that are below a C. And so it's tough, so when he's hot, you feel like you got to move him up to the top because I guess you don't want him stuck in a sea of bad hitters at the bottom of the lineup. But I think long term, especially as this lineup gets better, and hopefully it will with some additions, and including Ralphie Velasquez eventually, I think long term I like Bazzana in the leadoff spot.
I think I like Bazzana in the leadoff spot too. I've talked to Jason, I've talked to Bull, I've talked to Zach Meisel, I've talked to Jay Crawford, I've talked to all my baseball experts, and from what I know, that his plate discipline this young in his career is something that you don't normally see when a player comes up to the majors this young. And I already think he has a great balance of being a contact hitter and a power hitter, and you put that with a plate discipline, that good eye at the plate. Yeah, you would want him to be your leadoff hitter long term. I'm like you. I don't think Steven Kwan will be here much longer. It's funny that when Kwan had this amazing month of July, I actually asked, Jason, did he think he will move back up? And we kind of came to the conclusion it's probably better to keep him right here at the 9 hole.
Yeah.
That way you can book off 1 and 9 with quality hitters. It's almost like a second leadoff hitter in a sense, depending on what your situation is when you're in a late inning ball game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do too much of tinkering around with Travis Bazzana. I want my best hitters at the top of the lineup also.
Yeah.
And
they've been moving them around lately.
That's how I would do it. I've seen, him in the 1 hole. I've seen him in the 2. And so when everybody's healthy and all things is equal, I know for a fact that at least in the top 4, I need Chase DeLauder, Travis Bazzana, and for right now, still Jose Ramirez in that top 4. Who that 4th person might be, I don't know. But I don't think it necessarily has to be Steven Kwan at the top of the lineup.
No, and also, Jason, like, when, Jose likes hitting in the 2 spot.
Yeah.
So if you got
I don't think he does. I think Jose likes the 3 spot.
I'm sorry. He likes hitting in the 3 spot. I don't know why I said 2. I like him hitting in the 2 spot. I would like Jose in the 2 spot. But I like Jose's your best RBI producer. I like the idea of now I got Kwan in the 9 spot plus 2 good hitters at 1 and 2 before Jose comes up.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you guys said, but I'm curious. You guys keep saying you don't think Kwan's going to be here. Do you think he's getting traded the next 4 days?
No.
After the season?
Yeah.
I'll get behind that.
Yeah.
I do think that they're going to have some decisions to make after the season. He's got 1 year left of arbitration. He'll be a free agent after 27, if there is a 27 season. I think there will be.
Now, the only way I see him getting traded in season, I think it's unlikely.
He didn't have any value.
No, but I could see him possibly is part of a big deal
As a piece.
because the team may be like, we need a major league outfielder
Yeah.
to replace the major league outfielder we're giving you. You give us prospects and we'll, something like that.
Right.
I think it's unlikely. I'd be surprised if he got traded, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say 0%.
Yeah, I think he's here through the deadline.
Yeah.
And, they'll have to, we'll see what they do at the deadline. If they get an outfielder who with control beyond this year, that's going to play into it, obviously. How Angel Martinez performs the rest of the season and how they view him is going to play into it. If they move Bazzana to the outfield after this season, which I think is a possibility, I'm not saying it's 100%, but I think if you want to make a spot for, if Henao is here after the deadline, and I think he will be, well, then you got to make a spot for him next year. And the most logical thing to do would be put him at short, move Rocchio to second, and move Bazzana to the outfield.
Yeah.
I can't remember who
man.
it was. It was a guy on with Baskin and Phelps, and he was talking about we have a minor leaguer second base prospect that he believes is a better infielder than Travis Bazzana, and he was saying that he can see a move next season to where Bazzana is in the outfield, and this young man comes up and takes his place.
Henao. Yeah.
So that's the guy you all are talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Bazzana, like I've said it many times, my friend Mike Farron from MLB Radio said from the moment he got drafted, I think he's an outfielder. Now, I do think the Guardians, and Zach and I were talking about this morning on the Guardian show, ideally they'd like him to stay at second because having a good hitter at second base is an advantage because there's so few, especially in the American League.
Yes.
So I think you give him, I think maybe you take this offseason. He's a hard worker. Work hard. See, can he become an adequate second baseman defensively? If you think he can by the end of this offseason, then you keep him. If not, you start working on the outfield.
I heard you all talking about where Jose should bat. Now, mind you, this is Earl talking, but I had an idea. This would be my top 4. Y'all tell me if I'm crazy. Probably going to tell me if I'm crazy.
Okay.
I would go Bazzana,
Yeah.
Rocchio, Jose, and Chase. I've seen a couple lineups where Jose came back. Chase was batting in front of Jose. I think I would have him as my 4 hitter with all that power and things like that. So I'm not crazy.
Yeah, you're not crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
The trend in baseball now is to put your best hitter second. Aaron Judge bats second a lot. Yordan Alvarez hits second a lot. So you're trying to maximize the at-bats.
Yeah.
I mean, Judge hit leadoff for the Yankees for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Crow Armstrong leads off for the Cubs. He's their best player.
Yeah. So that's the argument for batting Jose second is he's your best hitter. I think still, I think we can all agree.
Oh, yeah.
He's still their best hitter. But if he doesn't like hitting there, you got to take his wishes into account as well. So Rocchio would be fine in the 2 spot. Kwan, I guess you could make an argument to bat Kwan second. I'm with you, though. I like Kwan in the 9 hole.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with that lineup, as you said, 1 through 4. They've got to be aggressive.
A lot of teams don't put their big power hitter at 4 anymore.
No, yeah. That's
what
true.
changed?
Maximizing the at-bats.
I mean, you usually have a power hitter there, but not your best power hitter.
Yeah.
Guardians, 2 hitters. We need 2 hitters.
2 of them.
2. 1 controllable, and then get a rental. I suggested today with Zach that they try to make a trade with the Mets because he said he asked me about Luis Robert, and while
I've kicked that around.
Yeah, that Luis Robert's got to be the second hitter you pick up, but I like the idea of getting aggressive on a starting pitcher, whether that's Freddie Peralta or Clay Holmes from the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
One of those guys, who did I just say? Luis Robert, and get one of their bullpen arms. They have some good bullpen arms. And you give up, whatever. I don't know what they're going to give up. As long as it's not Velasquez, I don't care what they give up. Let's be aggressive here. Let's go. All right, we're talking football. Zach Jackson, who's been at the first 2 days in Berea, will join us next. We'll break down everything with him.